أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Alhamdulillah, once again you are all welcome to another session of um, our learning process in understanding Al-Quran. We finished some of the topics last week. It was quite a packed week, but Alhamdulillah. So what we're going to do quickly now is for the first 30 minutes, we'll try to do a quick revision of all that we have done, and so that we'll have a clearer view of where we are now. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Yes, again, a quick reminder of the course content, and of course the subject is Nahu. We all know what Nahu stands for with regards to our understanding of Al-Quran. And Nahu has to do with the grammar aspect of the language. And not only is it important, but it's also assists particularly those who do not or have not got the opportunity of learning the Arabic as a language. This method of learning Nahu makes it easy for us, particularly those who have English language as a spoken language. And so the course content is mainly in English, but all the technical words used in Nahu are used accordingly. And so we have mentioned at the beginning that for us to have a better understanding of this subject, we need to know the course or the language structure. And so we said the language is in three levels: the level of the word, and then the level of the fragment, and then the level of the sentence. As of last week, I think we have dealt with the level of the word as well as of the level of the fragment. And the word we say are 3 types, and then the fragments are also 5 types. So we have gone through all the words and said that the words are ism, fi'l, harf. We mentioned that ism takes the chunk of the details needed to understand the word level of the language. So we say ism, fi'l, harf, and then we say the ism is the name of anything, name of a thing, name of a person, name of a place, an idea, an adjective, and other things. And more, as we say. And an ism would always have 4 properties, and those properties are status, number, gender, and type. And we also mentioned details of how to tell a status, and if an ism is heavy or light, as well as if an ism is flexible, non-flexible, or partly flexible. These are things that we need to understand about our status. And then moving on to the number, we said there are 3 types of numbers: singular, pair, plural. The singular, easy to know, and that has to do with the ending sounds, like Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. And then the one with the ending combination is either if the ism is in pair, number, or plural. In that case, you will have an ending combination. Ending combination simply means that you will have a letter as well as a sound at the ending of it, differentiating it from the other with regards to the status, of course. So when you say Muslimuna, there's a difference between Muslimuna, Muslimina, and Muslimaini, for instance, and Muslimatun, for instance, right? But in all these, as we discuss the status, the number, what we need to take very good cognizance of is that those endings are numbered. We just need to understand them, that the ending of an ism. Now, when we are talking about the ism only. But the ending an ism can either be in a sound, like un and in, or u, a, I, or combinations. Combinations like ani, aini, aini, or una, ina, or atun, atin, atin. These are the sounds, and of course, each and every one of them has the number and the gender accordingly. And then we also mentioned that type is another property of an ism. Type meaning if the ism is either proper or common. And by default, we say all isms are common, except if some 7 things apply to those isms, and then they become proper. And so this is all about the word. Then we came to the fragment aspect. Fragment, we said, are 5 types: the idafa, mawsuf, sifa, jar wa majrur, is al-ishara and the mushar ilayhi, as well as inna wa akhwataha and its ism. They constitute the 5 fragments in Arabic. 3 of them are ism and ism. So 2 isms coming together to form a concept, and then the other 2 are harf and ism, a harf and an ism coming together to form a concept. And when we say a concept, now note very important information here. When we say they form a concept, it means that when determining the i'rab, during the i'rab, you realize that not each and every one of us them would have a mahal in i'rab. So you realize, for instance, that when we have mawsuf and sifa, the mawsuf is always having a mahal in i'rab. The sifa doesn't have a mahal in i'rab. The sifa is attached to the mawsuf. And so sometimes when we say this la mahal laha min al-i'rab, we just need to understand that, okay, it goes along to say, or one of the things that will make us understand the word la mahal laha min al-i'rab is to understand the components of the i'rab, and then understand why is this one not having a mahal in i'rab. So anytime we say sifa, sifa doesn't have a mahal in i'rab because it is attached to the mawsuf, and the mawsuf will have a mahal in i'rab. So for instance, the mawsuf which has been described can either be the fa'il, it can be the maf'ul, and so on, right? It can be the mubtada, it can be the khabar. These are the mahallat al-i'rabiyya, okay? And so when we say mawsuf or jar majrur, now majrur, jarun wa majrur, jar majrur in itself as a fragment would always be related to. That's why it said, it is said that it's muta'alliq bi khabar or muta'alliq bi al-fi'l. And khabar and fi'l are mahallat fil i'rab, but jar wa majrur itself is muta'alliq. Okay, the same thing with inna and its ism. We say inna is harf, but inna and the mubtada constitutes now the mubtada. Inna alone doesn't have a position. It just have a duty, a job to do. It makes the ism nasb, but then the mubtada will be considered as the inna and the mubtada. The either 2 words that's supposed to be the mubtada become the mubtada. So these fragments, the last one I need to explain now is mudaf, mudaf ilayh. Mudaf would always have a mahal fil i'rab, but the mudaf ilayh doesn't have a mahal in i'rab because it is mudafun ilayhi. So the mudaf is the one that can either be fa'il, it can be maf'ul, it can be mubtada, it can be khabar. The mudaf ilayhi is always attached to it to form a concept. So this idea about fragment, we just need to understand it well. First of all, it is more than a word, but less than a sentence. The second thing is that it's a concept, okay? It's a concept, 5 different concepts. Depending on where they occur, then you decide which part of them has i'rab, mahal fil i'rab, and which part of them doesn't have a mahal in i'rab, okay? We will discuss more about that, mahal fil i'rab, inshallah, at the tail end of the course. And by that, we have discussed all the 5 fragments. Ism al-ishara and mushar ilayh, I said is the same, like hada, hadani, haula'i. Anytime you have an ism in front of it, that ism having alif and lam, then there is a fragment. So ism al-ishara and mushar ilayhi are also one concept. So you always realize that the ism al-ishara will then have the mahal fil i'rab, okay? And then the mushar ilayhi is always the one that that takes the la mahal la min i'rab. For instance, when I say hadha al-kitab, this book. So I'm talking about this. I'm just telling that's a book to make it clear to you, right? So this would be the mubtada or the khabar, mubtada mahzuf, for instance. So that this would have the status, but the other one in front of it have a different i'rab that is not a mahal actually in i'rab. It can be said to be badal in some other cases in advanced nahu and so on. But the hadha is the actual thing, okay? Like the mawsuf is the actual thing, and the mudaf is also the actual thing, right? So these are the 5 different fragments. And today, inshallah, we'll be looking at some of the examples. We look at a little bit of examples. I have about 10-15 minutes to do so, and then we will move into today's subject, which is the conclusion of understanding ism generally. So all we are doing now is about ism. Note, from the beginning, we talk about the ism itself, its status, number, gender, type. Now we are talking about when 2 isms come together and form a concept, right? 2 isms coming together and form a concept, or a harf and an ism coming together to form a concept. We have 5 different types of those, right? And then we will come back now and talk about moving from there, after becoming a fragment, what can ism do to form a sentence? Now we'll go into the sentence proper, inshallah. So with that, let me quickly show you the slides. I think the beginning of my slides should look like this. Okay, I hope you can see my slides. Assalamu alaikum. Can you see my slides, please? Okay, you can always notify me if you have an issue on the text. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Okay. So kinds of words. So this is what we've just spoken about. Kinds of words are anwa. Sorry. Okay, anwa al-kalima. Okay. So the anwa al-kalima we said are 3. Ismun, fi'lun, and harf, right? And of course, we give a lot of those examples. Ism can be name of a person, a place, a thing, an idea, an adjective, adverb, right? And more. And these more, I said a lot of things. I mean, more can, for instance, pronouns, all kinds of pronouns, of pronouns in which we know in English, right? All kinds of pronouns that we know in English are there, relative pronouns and so on, right? And so on. Asmal ishara, for instance, pointer words, okay? Pointer words, demonstrative pronouns, and so on. And then we have the fi'l. Okay, of course, the fi'l, we are going to talk about them later. We don't want to go into details, but we say it's a word stuck in time, a word stuck in time. This is, I mean, the easy way of saying this. Those times can either be madi, mudari'u, and amr. And this amr is divided into amrun itself, or we say amrun wa nahi. Okay? And then all kinds of harfs. What are the harfs? And we say harfs are words that do not make sense on their own. Okay. Okay, without an ism or a fi'l. This is what we said, right? And fragments. These are the 4 kinds of fragments that we just spoke about. Idafa. Idafa consists of mudafun wa al-mudaf ilay. Right? This is the first type. And then we have the mawsuf, sifa. Mawsuf or sifa. And we didn't mention why we don't say sifa or mawsuf. We said mawsuf, sifa, because according to Arabic, the mawsuf would always be first, right? So mawsuf, sifa. And then jarun, jarun, sorry, wa majrur, jarun wa majrur. Then inna, inna wa akhwatuha, that is inna and its sisters, wa ismuha, okay? Inna, the sisters, wa ismuha, another fragment. And then the last one is al-ishara wal-mushar ilay. Okay, so these are the different fragments that we have learned so far. And then finally, the sentences we said there are only two: jumla, ismiya, and jumla fi'liya. Okay, so basically this is how the structure of the language is, and this is all we are trying to say as teachers of Nahu. This should be really what should be in our minds when we are teaching the subject generally, that this is the high level structure and this is how it should be always in our minds. And so where we are now is that we have treated all these and we are supposed to move into those, right? Those two. Now, why do we bring these four different fragments just after treating the ism proper? So what we did was to treat the ism proper. And then, of course, as we were treating the ism, some of the harf were coming in. Like, for instance, we give example of the huruf al-jar, right? Huruf al-jar are harfs, right? Why do we say huruf al-jars? And so we discuss huruf al-jar, right? You remember them. What are the huruf al-jar? You remember us saying what? Bata kalawa, bata kalawa, bata kalawa, min fi an. Okay, let me do it like this. Min fi an ala hatta min fi an. Okay, let me put a comma here. It's supposed to be min fi an ala hatta and ila. Okay, these are all hurufs. Another huruf with harf of nasb and its ism, inna and its ism, these ones, right? Another huruf that we have learned are these ones: inna, inna, anna, ka'anna. Okay, ka'anna, bi'anna. You can add all these. Okay. Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi'anna, lakinna, lakinna, later, and la'alla. Okay, these are all harfs. Now, how do we bring them? Why did we treat these harfs with the isms? Because these harfs are related to the isms. So anytime you see them, they are related to isms. So anytime you see harf jar, it can never come before a fa'il. Inna and its ism, they cannot come before a fa'il. They won't happen. Okay. And so it become more like a marker of you identifying an ism fail harf. You remember we used to identify ism fail harf, ism fail harf. So the idea is that anytime you see harf jar or anytime you see this huruf, then the succeeding word must be an ism, right? And that's why it is treated always with an ism, so that we know the relationship between that. So that fail will be treated separately, probably from the end of today. up to tomorrow. Okay. So this is just a basic, just a reminder for all of us. Now let me go straight to the this slide. Let me do that. Sorry. Okay. Okay, it's part of our revision to look at the status of an ism. The status can have an ending combination. You remember the ending combination. An ending combination will give us more information. Okay, so don't forget to check for the light version also. You know, we said ani is an ending combination, right? That shows a rafa status, right? For a pair, ani. Or it can be light by dropping the nun. Aini also shows nasb or jar status for a pair. So you say muslimaini, but you can also drop the nun to become muslimai, right? So this is heavy, this is light. Una is rafa status, plural singular, sorry, plural masculine. And it can be muslimu, so you say muslimuna or muslimu. So muslimuna is in rafa status as well as heavy, and it's plural, of course, don't forget. And you can drop the noon to be muslimu. Ina is for nasb or jar status, and it's plural masculine, so muslimina or muslimi. Atun is for rafa feminine, so you say muslimatun or fatimatun or kitabatun and so on. And then you can always make it light by dropping the one of the dhammas, right? You don't drop the ta, please. You don't drop the ta. Ta can never be dropped, you know. Feminine will not accept the dropping of the ta. And then atin is nasb or jar. Atin, you either make it tanween, that makes it heavy, or you make it one haraka, that makes it light. So this is about rafa nasb for ending combination, rafa nasb jar for ending combination, right? Ending sounds, these ending sounds, they don't give us much information at the ending combination. And you can agree with me, right? Because with the ending combination, with the ani, ina, you know, sorry, una, you know, is plural because of una. Ina, you know, is plural, masculine. The moment I see the tone, I know it's feminine. So it gives me some idea of what I'm looking at, right? But when it comes to the ending sound are either un, there's nothing about feminine or masculine or singular or plural in them. They don't give more information. And that's what it means here. So this can end either in alif to become non-flexible status, okay? In the case of Musa, for instance, it can be rafa, nasb, jar. And that's why we say the ending sound, in this case, doesn't give me any information. Musa can be rafa when you say ra'aytu Musa, I saw Musa, and ja'a Musa, and marados to be Musa, all in ending, right? That sound doesn't tell you anything most of the time. So it's the context that you are able to know if Musa is the fa'il, maf'ul, or majrur. And it can also end in u or un, like Muhammadun or Maryamu. Of course, Muhammadun because it is fully flexible, Maryamu because it is partly flexible. It can also end in e or in, like Muhammadin, because it's fully flexible. Al-Masajidi, because the heavy light here is irrelevant, right? Because of the alif and lam, and alif and lam doesn't accept tanween. It can also end in an or a, like Musliman and then Muslima. Okay, if the ism is partly flexible, it can either be a, it can always be a in nasb and jar status. We learned this before, right? So ending sound a might not necessarily be in a fully flexible ism. It can also be on a partly flexible ism, where the a will represent either nasb or jar, depending on the context, for you to know which one is represented. Otherwise, the ism can be light, like this, Muslima, Muslima. So either instead of Musliman, it can be Muslima. Now, in what cases can we have an ism being light generally? We have talked about heavy and light, heavy and light. And there are reasons here for an ism having a light ending, not heavy, okay? It is after any ism that is after an absolute la. This one is called absolute la. La and nafia lil jins, okay? Anytime you see la and nafia lil jins, the ism after it becomes nakira mansub, okay? Nakira mansub. It becomes common and having fatha. You can't, even though it is nakira, and you know that anytime an ism is common, it is heavy. Okay? كل اسم منكر يكون منون. تقول كتاب وكتابا وكتاب. Okay? But in this case, ilaha, though it's nakira, it is not ilahan, but ilaha because of this la. And this la is known as an absolute la. Anytime you see it, the ism after it is in nakira mansub. Okay? La ahda fil bayt. Okay? For instance. Absolutely no one in the house, for instance. Okay? So la ilaha illallah. And the mudaf is also always light. Don't forget. Okay? Kitabullahi. You can't say kitabun Allah, even though kitab is nakira, but because it is mudaf, it has to be light. The one being called Ya Muhammadu, you can't say Ya Muhammadun. Okay? And then also partly flexible ism like Maryam, because Maryam is non-Arab name. So these are the 4 instances that an ism becomes light, as we said. Then we come to the second property of an ism, number. The number ends with either aini or you can pronounce it aini or aini. Aini, pair for always for pair. So anytime we hear ani or aini, it is for pair. Ani in rafa status, aini in nasb or jar. Anytime we hear una or ina, then una is in rafa and ina is either in nasb or jar, but they are all plural. Okay, plural. And this one is pair. So anytime you hear I or ani or I ni, it's all pair. It's just that the first one is rafa, the second one is nasb or jar. And then we spoke about the ism jama, those words that are considered masculine plural, even though they look like a singular word, right? And these are name of things that are actually a group of things, like qarnun wa nasun wa qawmun. These words are translated as singular in English, but then they are actually masculine plural grammatically in Arabic. So they have plural meaning. Okay, you can look at this chart later. Of course, these are the words actually on that particular chart. Otherwise, it's always singular. Okay, then the gender, we spoke about it be that you have to always assume that the gender is masculine unless something makes it feminine. We spoke about the original feminine ism as well as the fake feminine. We spoke about things that can make an ism fakely considered feminine, because by default, all isms are masculine. Okay, there are 5 or 6 things that we learned that makes it feminine. And then the type, we always assume that the words are common unless if it fits into one of those 7 things that makes an ism proper. We all learned about that. Okay, and these are some of the examples. For the fragments, we learned qawlan thaqilan. This is qawlan thaqilan. You can see that there's mawsuf sifa, mawsufun wa sifa. How do I know mawsuf sifa? I know mawsuf sifa whenever the 2 isms have the same properties. This one is nakira, this is nakira, this is nasb, and this mudhakkar, and that is mudhakkar. Okay, so status, number, gender, type. Status is an. Number, mufrad. Gender, mudhakkar. It's mudhakkar because nothing shows that it is muannas, right? And then the type is nakira because there is nothing that makes it proper. At-tammatul kubra. So you can see at-tamma al-kubra, another sifa mawsuf. This one is rafa, and this one is also rafa actually, even though it doesn't show at the end, right? And this one is feminine. This one is also feminine because of the at the end, right? And then so status, number, singular, tamma, and then kubra. Okay, kubra is also singular, and then it is proper and proper. Proper because of the alif and lam, and then proper because of the alif and lam. Suhufan mutahhara, the same thing. Suhufan mutahhara, mawsuf sifa, mawsuf sifa. You can see the same properties. And then suhufan is actually non-human broken plural. Okay, and when we say jam'u taksir, yu'amal mu'amalat al-mufrad al-mu'annas. Okay, it is dealt with as if it is a singular feminine word, and that's why it's sifa to the ta. So we say it's having the same properties. Bala'un azimun. Now note, this is mawsuf sifa, was separated by jar majrur and mudaf ilayhi. And here we say it is allowing distant relationship, right? We said it allows distant relationship because of this fragment, fragments that come between them. But this is the mawsuf and this is the sifa. And you can see that they look alike in their status, number, gender, type. Sururun marfu'a, the same thing. Sururun marfu'a, you say the sifa is having ta, but the mawsuf doesn't have ta because it is jam'u taksir, non-human broken plural. But it is the status, number, gender, type, a match. Asfin ma'kulin. So ma'kulin is majroor, asfin is majroor. So sifa mawsuf. Of course, this jar was caused by this kaf, which is half jar in the batakala wa min fi an ala hatta ila. Al-fawzul kub kabir, the same thing, mawsuf sifa. Okay, rafa, rafa, muzakkar, muzakkar, mufrad, mufrad, as well as mu'arraf and mu'arraf. Narun hamiya, narun, rafa, rafa, muzakkar, muzakkar, that is singular, singular. And then it is what again? Singular, the gender is feminine, feminine, because narun is feminine because the Arabs say so. So the sifa becomes also feminine. And then it is nakira, nakira. Both of them are common. Ligulamaini yatimaini. So gulamaini yatimaini mawsuf sifa. And of course, this gulamaini is majroor because of the li. So this is majroor and this one is also majroor. The sign for jar here is aini, not kisra. Note. And then combination. The aini is the sign of jar here. And then so we say this is mawsuf sifa. The same thing here. Mawsuf sifa. You can see the sifa is having ta as if it is feminine because this one is also considered as she. It's a feminine. The singular word for this maghanim is maghnamatun. Even though the singular is also feminine, but the plural is broken plural, but it is considered feminine. So anytime you bring the sifa, it has to take the same gender. Okay. And then when we come here, we look at jar wa majrur. Okay. Bil haqqi, another fragment. Jar wa majrur. Harf jar is ba. Al haqqi majrur. Asfin ma'kul. So ka is harf of jar. Asfin is majrur. You can see that. Bihamdi rabbika. So bi is harf of jar. Hamdi majrur. Bihijaratin. Min sijjilin. So bi and min. Harf of jar. Fi dinillahi. Fi dini. So fi harf jar and dini majrur. Fi jidiha. So fi and jidiha. Min khawfin. Min khawfin. Li kulli. Lam and kulli. And of course, this one is one of the special mudafs that is it's fully flexible. You can say kullun, kullin, and kullan. Ma'al usri. This ma'a is also a special mudaf, always mudaf. And then this is what. So this is not jar or majrur for your information. In the course we have taken, we are saying this is a special mudaf, not half jar. Wa min sharri. So min is half of jar, shar is majrur. Ala ta'ami. Ala is half of jar, ta'ami is majrur. Fi amadin. Fi is harf jar, amadin majroor. Man a'ata, man is not half of jar. So there is no half of jar here. Hatta matla'i, hatta is half of jar, and matla'i is majroor. Li rabbika, lam, half of jar. You understand? You remember this lam? We say when it's attached to any ism, for it to become majroor, it is in jar. You can see kasra under it. Only if it is attached to a harf. If it's attached to damir, then it will be fatha. So we say lahu and laka and lakum wa lana and so on. But if it is attached to any other ism, it is li. So you see li rabbika. And then here b is harf of jar and ashabi majrur. And then here we look at the harf of nasb. Inna ilayna. So inna iyabahum. So inna and its ism. The ism is iyaba. So inna and its ism, a fragment making a concept here, is the mubtada. Okay, and in this case, the mubtada is mu'akhar because of the ilayna. Innaha is another ism of inna and its ism. Okay, or inna and its ism. Okay, innahum, another fragment. Anna lahum, so anna ajran lahum. So anna and ajran are the mubtada. Inna alayna hisabahum, so inna hisabahum alayna. Okay, so inna hisabahum alayna. So inna and its ism. Here are the two fragments. Inna shani'ah. So inna and its ism, mubtada. Okay. And then lan nad'uwa. Okay, of course, here we are not talking about fa'il, so there is no fragment here. فَلَعَلَّكَ. So لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِئٌ نَفْسَكَ. Okay, لَعَلَّكَ لعلك. So لعل and its ism. Okay. أن لن يقدر. There is no ism inna or inna and its sisters here. وصدق, here too there is none. له وليا, here too there is none. Okay. إن يقولوا إلا كذبا, there is none here. There is no any of the inna and its ism. نار مؤصدة, the same thing here. There's no any harf of inna or harf nasb and its ism. Man baqila, the same thing here. It's empty. Inna al-insana, yes. Inna and its ism. It's another fragment. Inna ja'alna, ay innana ja'alna. So inna is the inna and its ism. Inna ma'al usri yusran, ay inna ma'al usri yusran. Okay. Inna yusran ma'al usri. So inna and its ism. So the ism of inna is yusran, ay inna yusran ma'al usri. Okay. Inna hada, of course, another fragment. This hada is ismun, ismu inna, okay? Mansub, mansub بالتقدير here. We say muqaddara ala al-alif, okay? Anna malahu, so anna and mala, inna and its ism. Anna ashaba, the same thing here, okay? So these are some of the fragments that we have learned. And then here we look at the fragment for Ismul Ishara and Mushar Ilayhi. And we said the fragment for Ismul Ishara and Mushar Ilayhi can always be applicable only if the Mushar Ilayhi is having alif and lam, like here. Okay? Bihazal balad, sorry, Bihazal hadith. So Hazal hadith is Ismul Ishara and Mushar Ilayhi. Tilka ayatullahi, ayatu is not having alif and lam, so this one cannot be a fragment. Ha'ula il-qawm is a fragment. This one is a sentence. Note, anytime you have ism al-ishara, then the ism after it has no alif and lam, then it is a sentence, okay? But else, it's a fragment. So this is a fragment, but this is a sentence. Fragment meaning it is not a sentence. Murakkaba, naqisa, aw nusamihi shibhi jumla, okay? هذه سبيلي, the same thing here. This is a sentence. It's not a fragment. ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا. This is a fragment. تلك الدار. This is a sentence. تلك الدار is a fragment. Why? Because you have ism al-ishara followed by ism with alif and lam. That makes it a fragment. So this is not a sentence. Okay. هؤلاء شفعاؤنا. This is a sentence, not a fragment. هذان خصمان. This is a sentence, not a fragment. أولئك أصحاب الجنة. This is also a sentence, not a fragment. وهذا النبي. هذا النبي. This is a fragment. هذا ربي. This is a sentence. إن هذا القرآن. So هذا القرآن. This one is a fragment. Okay. في هذا القرآن. في هذا. So هذا القرآن is a fragment. إن هذا عدو لك. So عدو is not having alif and lam. Therefore, هذا and this particular ism are considered a sentence, not a fragment. تلك من أنباء الغيب. تلك من. So there is no fragment here. هذه الشجرة. This is a fragment. هذه من عندك. This one is a sentence. هذه ناقة الله is also another sentence. Okay. Thank you very much for taking time to do a quick revision for what we have done so far. Please, we are going for a 5-minute break and we'll come back exactly in the next 5 minutes. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are all around. Um, hello, can you hear me, please? Assalamu alaikum. Okay. MashaAllah. Okay. I will try for us to do a little exercises by the end if I'm able to run through the slides. So you bear with me, inshallah. So I hope also you read actually before coming, because reading is also very important for this particular program, because it is, and some of you might be having it very fast, I know, and and but it is because actually the targeted persons are those ones who already are our teachers, and it's just a matter of showing, sharing the method of teaching this in English. That's why we don't dwell a lot of the time on the details. But inshallah, we look at some exercises, inshallah. Okay. Now, we are moving forward, and don't forget, brothers and sisters, it's all about ism fil harf, right? The language, the language, all of it's about ism fil harf. Just let's remind ourselves again. And where we are now is we are dealing with ism, mainly with ism, and all the things that have to do with ism. Now we are coming to the end of dealing with ism before we move to fail. But before we finish ism, let's watch this, or let's look at this slides. I hope you can see my slides. Okay. So we are going to look at the kinds of sentences, but before then, let's quickly finish the discussion regarding the ism itself. It says, after completing the studies of fragments, now let's understand the process of doing grammatical analysis of multiple fragments. Now, anytime we see a fragment, a lot of them in a sentence, or in an ayah generally, because we are talking about the Quran, right? What we do is, first of all, you ask yourself these questions. How many words are in the ayah? So, kalima fil ayah. If you are able to separate those words, and believe me, it is an exercise that you need to go through. Unless you go through it, you might be thinking it's easy. You know, alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. I mean, what is it about? I mean, I can just count it. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi asfal. No, brothers. It's not like that. It's not like that, brothers and sisters. You need to do the grammatical separation of words. Ism fil harf, ism fil harf. And you will be surprised sometimes that lack of knowing that exercise led to a lot of misconceptions of verses from the Quran, meaning of those verses, interpretation of those verses, particularly from our forefathers who didn't know so much about the Nahu, particularly when it comes to interpreting the Quran. And then certain interpretation were done, you know, mistakenly or not mistakenly from their sides, but with shortcomings, right? Because we are not able to separate between the kalimat. Okay, a typical example is I can remember a hadith that speaks about Mata ibn Adam, when the Prophet must mention that when somebody dies, all of his things stop, no any good deeds. Okay, and then it mentioned except if he has done sadaqatun jariyah. Okay, now sadaqatun jariyah is mawsuf sifa, but the moment you say sadaqatul jariyah is something else. You see, sadaqatul jariyah is mudaf ilayh. Okay, and sadaqatul jariyah is mawsuf sifa. But so they have two different meanings, and you end up absolutely misunderstanding the hadith. Anyway, this is not the time for hadith, but I'm sure if you ask some of your teachers, particularly some of you who are doing the evening lessons, they will tell you how to interpret that hadith correctly without missing between the mawsuf sifa and then mudaf ilayhi. So knowing what kind of a word it is, and knowing the kind of fragment, then you do what? That what are they? What are the words? Then you separate them. Then you separate the words. So if I want to do the Arab, I look at the words and then I'll separate them word after word. Okay, and then I will then determine the third step. What is the role of it in the sentence? So what is the role of this word in the sentence? Then I'll mention it. This is the process of doing Arab. So Arab, you just don't look at the word and thinking you can do the Arab without you doing the separation of the whole ayah. So you pick the whole ayah, separate them, and then determine which of them does what in the jumla or in the ayah. Let's give you an example here. Bala'un hasanun. Sorry. Bala'un min rabbikum azimun. So you see bala'un min rabbikum. So is bala'un one word, which is an ism. Min is a harf. Rabbi is an ism, and kum is an ism. And that's the equivalent of antum when it becomes attached. Okay? When it becomes attached. You remember when we spoke about pronoun, we said we have antum and kum, right? Antum is the independent and kum is the attached. So it's not rabbukum, is not one word. It's rabbi, sorry, rabbikum is not one word, but rabbi and kum and azim. So wahid, ithnain, thalatha, arba'a, khamsa. Okay? So 5. And then you start doing the i'rab of that separately. Okay? Inna fiha qawman jabbarina. So inna is one word, fi is one word, ha is one word, qawman is one word, and jabbarina is one word. It's not jabbar and ina. No. Jabbarina is another word. Okay? Wa rabbuka. So you say wa, it's a harf. Rabbu ism, ka ism, al a harf. Note. Al is a harf and akram is another ism. Janibat turil ayman. Okay, so you have janiba is one word, al, and then turi, and then al and ayman. The reason why we have to mention the al is that in some context, they will consider the al and then the tur as one word. Yes, we agree that you can consider it one word at a certain level. But at the level of a beginner, we need to understand that you can have ayman without the al. So in that case, what is the al doing? The al makes it proper. So you have to differentiate between the article and the ism itself. So the article here is a harf, and the ism here is a different word. Okay. And then laytani, you might be thinking laytani is one word, but it's actually layta and ni. Layta ana. And this is ana when it's attached to a fi'l. Sorry, when it's attached to a harf in this case. So later and ni. Later is one of the harfs of inna and its sisters, right? Inna, anna, ka anna, bi anna, lakinna, later, and la'alla. So later is one of the isms, is one of the harfs that precedes an ism and makes the ism nasb. So this particular ni here is in nasb status. Okay? Inna shajarata zakumi. Inna and its ism. So inna is harf, shajarata is a harf, and then al is a, sorry, shajarata is an ism, al is a harf, and zakum is another ism. Now note, how do I know even that zakum is an ism? It's because of al. Al cannot go into a fi'l, okay, or a harf. It's always attached to an ism. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, so B is a harf, ism, another ism. Allah, Rabb Jalala is an ism. Ar-Rahman is an ism. We don't say Al and Rahman for the attributes of Allah. You have to say Ar-Rahman because you cannot separate the Al from those attributes, right? So these are the kalimat. And then after looking at the kalimat, you look at the fragments therein. Are there any fragments here? Yes or no? Bala'um min rabbika. So min rabbi is jar wa majroor. Rabbika mudafin ilay. And then bala'un azimun. There is a breach here, separated by mir rabbikum. So there is mawsuf sifa. So there are then you come to the level of knowing the fragment. And then inna fiha qawman jabbarina. So inna qawman. This is one fragment. So inna qawman is inna and its ism. Fiha is jar wa majroor. And jabbarina is sifa and mawsuf. So you can see that there are about 3 fragments in here, right? Okay, wa rabbuka al-akram. Wa rabbuka al-akram. So rabbu separately, rabbuka is mudaf ilayhi. Okay, rabbuka is mudaf mudaf ilayhi. Whilst akram is the sifa of rabbuka. Rabbuka is proper, by the way, because rabbu and ka, mudaf ilayhi, the ka is proper. So rabbu is also proper. In this case, this one is mawsuf sifa. So there are two fragments here. جانب الطور الأيمن, جانب الطور مضاف إليه, and الطور الأيمن is mawsuf sifa. Laytani is another fragment. Layta and its ism. Inna shajarata zakumi. Okay, inna shajarata and then az-zakum. Inna and its ism and then mudaf ilayhi. Bismillah jar wa majroor. Bismillah jar wa majroor. And then Ar-Rahman is a sifa to lafz al-jalala, and Ar-Rahim is another sifa to lafz al-jalala. Okay, so these are the steps generally for so I didn't do that. Okay, the last one we have not done yet, and that is after I have seen the fragments, then I will now go and consider the sentence. What kind of sentence is this? What kind of sentence is this? What kind of, is it a sentence embedded into a sentence, or it's only one sentence? And so on, those ones we are going to learn from tomorrow, inshallah. Okay. Other examples, bi-iznillah. So you look at the huruf, right? Sorry. Bi-iznillah. How many kalimat? Bi-izni. So bi is harf. And then iznillah. Izn is another ism. And then Allah is another, Rabbil Jalala, another ism. Wa wal Quran al Hakim. So wa al Quran and then al Hakim. So what? Harf. So harf ism, right? Kulla shay'in ism. Innal insana. So harf ism. Bi anna rabbaka. Harf ism. Isa ibn Maryama. Okay, Isa is ism. Bin ism. Maryama, another ism. Min ba'dihi. So min is harf. Ba'di is harf. Sorry. Min is harf. Ba'd is ism. And he is also another ism. Min fadli rabbi. Min is harf. Fadl ism. Rabb ism. And e is another ism. Don't forget that. Okay. Those are the kalimat. And then you look if there are fragments. Of course, there are fragments, right? Bi-izni is jar wa majroor. Iznillahi is mudaf ilayhi. Wal Quran al Hakim. So al Quran al Hakim mawsuf sifa. Okay. Kulla shay'in idafa, special mudaf. Inna al insana. Inna in its ism, another fragment. Bi-izni rabbika. So bi anna rabbaka. So bi anna rabbaka. Now note here, very important. Bi anna is one of the isms of inna. It's not bi and jar wa majroor. No. Bi anna is actually one harf. Okay, because this B does not affect the anna. So you say bi anna is one of the harfs of nasb. Okay, adatun min adawat nasb. And then rabba is the ism of bi anna. So bi anna rabbaka. So rabba is mudaf and ka mudaf ilayhi. Okay. Isa ibn Maryam. So ibn Maryama is another idafa. Min ba'dihi. Min and ba'di. Min jar wa majroor. Okay. This is jar, majroor, and mudaf ilayhi. Min fadli rabbi. Min jar wa majroor. Min fadli and fadli rabbi. Mudaf ilayhi. Rabbi is also another mudaf ilayhi. So rabbi is mudaf ilayhi as well as mudaf. Okay. So these are some of the examples. Now that leads us to what we have not discussed here. And that is after seeing the fragment, now what kind of sentence is this? How do I know what kind of sentence is this? Now we come to the next slide. And that is Jumla Ismiya. So when you have an ism and a fi'il, ism and a harf, or harf and an ism, or ism and an ism, but there's a sentence there. You have three fragments in a sentence or in an ayah. How do we consider it? Is it up to a sentence? Yes, it makes sense. So it's a sentence. Now, what kind of sentence is it? And what are the components of the sentence? So anytime you see an ism starting a sentence, it means it's Jumla Ismiya. Okay? Anytime an ism starts a sentence, it's known as Jumla Ismiya. And if it's a Jumla Ismiya, then you expect these components. Please note, very important, because we are getting to the end of this course. And when at this moment, anytime I say it is Jumla Ismiya, what do I expect in it? You have to mention that we expect a Mubtada, a Khabar, and MBK. MBK is Muta'alliq bi Khabar. Somebody will say, well, that's just an abbreviation for this course, okay? MBK is Muta'alliqun bil Khabar. and then we have jar wa majroor, okay, and special mudaf. So these are the two types of MBKs. Two types of MBK. So MBK متعلق بخبر can be jar wa majroor. Jar wa majroor meaning jar is the bata kala wa min fi an ala hatta ila, and the majroor is any ism that comes after it. And then the special mudafs, you remember them, the special mudafs, like ba'da, fawqa, tahta, amama, qaddama, wara'a, baina, all those adverbs of place, okay, and time. Sometimes they are all called special mudafs. These are the two kinds of MBK. So anytime you see them in Jumla Ismiya, they are referred to as MBK muta'alliqun bi khabar. So they are not khabar themselves. Okay, they are not khabar themselves. Why? Because they are fragments. So a fragment cannot be a khabar. A fragment can always be muta'alliqun bi khabar. Okay, so you can either see that and that, or that and that. Okay, how does it work? How does the Jumla Ismiya work? The first kind of sentence, Jumla Ismiya, how does it work? It says Mubtada starts a Jumla and raises curiosity. What it means is that anytime I mention an ism at the beginning of an ayah, okay, then, I mean, Al-Qari'ah, what about it? Mal-Qari'ah. Then, Wama Adraka, then at the end, it said, Yawma yakunu nas. That is the explanation of the Mubtada. The Mubtada can be of a bucket. Note, it can be of a bucket, a lot of things inside. As far as it continuously raises curiosity, it is still Mubtada. Okay? For instance, when I say, الرجل الذي جاء يوم أمس بطعام لذيذ, all these things are Mubtada. The man who came yesterday with that delicious food. الرجل الذي جاء يوم أمس بطعام لذيذ لابس جلباب أبيض, wearing a white jalbab. What about it? Mat is dead. Sorry. So mata is the khabar. So mubtada will always raise the curiosity. When I say al-waladu, it's mubtada. لأنه يرفع أو يأتي بالتوهم. It brings that wahm. It brings that curiosity. What about it? Okay, that is mubtada. It starts a sentence and raises curiosity. The khabar or the MBK, they come to satisfy and clear the curiosity raised by the mubtada. So when I say al-bint namat, for instance, al-bint jamila. So when I say al-bint, you will keep quiet, asking for what about al-bint jamila? The girl is beautiful. So khabar will always satisfy the curiosity. Or for instance, when I say al-ustaz fil fasl. So fil fasl is jar wa majrur muta'alliq bil khabar, okay, which has come to clear the curiosity raised by mubtada. And that's how it works. Okay. So MBKs are of two types. This is what we said. Jar wa majrur or special mudaf. This is what we said, right? Example, al-bustanu jamilun. So when I say al-bustanu and keep quiet, you will be saying, okay, what about bustan? Then I say jamilun, khabar, right? So that's the meaning of raising curiosity and satisfying the curiosity. As-sadaqatu burhanun. So as-sadaqatu mubtada, burhanun khabar. And you can see that mubtada is always rafa and khabar is always also rafa. Note that when mubtada is rafa and khabar here is also rafa, both of them are rafa, right? But one is light and one is heavy. Have you realized that? Right? This one cannot be considered light. Note, this one cannot be considered light because of alif and lam. So what we say here is that it's having alif and lam, and so it cannot take dhammatan. But you don't say this is light. You say it is irrelevant. The issue of heavy and light here is irrelevant. Okay. Wailun lil musallin. Okay, wailun. Then I keep quiet. Wailun, I keep quiet. Lil musallin, jar wa majrur, MBK, muta'alliq bi khabar. This one is khabar. This one is khabar, but this one is muta'alliq bi khabar because it's any jar wa majrur or mudaf ism zarf zaman, call it zarf zaman or zarf makan, cannot be khabar in itself, but they can be muta'alliqun bi khabar. The only thing for you to understand is that, okay, it's an ism that can be a khabar in itself, or a sentence that can be a khabar in itself. But a shibh jumla or all those fragments that we have learned cannot be a khabar, but it can only be muta'alliqun bi khabar. Muta'alliq means it's related to khabar. Okay. Now we come to this very, very important topic called the invisible S. What is invisible S in Nahu? Is a word that does not exist in Arabic, like of. You remember I explained to you that of does not exist in Arabic when we did the idafa. We said it is the relationship between the two words that brings about the of. But of as a word does not exist in Arabic. The same thing with S. S doesn't exist. It comes as a result of relationship between certain words, or a certain expression will have to bring in the word S. When I say S, I mean S and all its conjugations, or all its sisters, if I can say, S and its sisters, depending on the pronoun. So it can be it can be S, and it can be are, or where, and so on. Okay, I am, for instance. So the am there, or is, he is, and they are, or I was, or they were. So those, I mean, those auxiliaries, all of them are always, they don't exist in Arabic. They don't exist. What happens is that they are created when a relationship happens between certain isms or certain words. So we are going to learn those situations, right, that cause you to put is in your translation of an Arabic statement or an Arabic ayah. So when do we say is, you know, in our translation of an ayah? That's the question. That's the question here. When do we say is? Or when would the word is, or or are, or was, or were, when do they come in a sentence? We'll learn this before we go for this short break. There are actually about, if I'm not mistaken, about 5, 7 of them, those situations. Let's see one of them. Anytime you see an independent pronoun, domir munfasil, okay, you will follow it with an S. When I say an S, I mean S and all its sisters, okay? So, anta rajulun, for instance, anta rajulun. How do we translate it? You are a man. Have you seen that? You are a man. Okay? Huwa Allahu. He, you don't say Allah, right? He is Allah. So the huwa is a pronoun, an independence pronoun. Anytime you see an independent pronoun, it's always followed by an is. That's what it means here. What are the independence pronouns? Huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, and nahnu. These are the independent pronouns, not the attached pronouns. Note, not the attached pronouns, the independent pronouns. Anytime you hear them in an ayah or in an Arabic statement, there is an is after it in your translation into English. For instance, ana muslimun. So ana is an independent pronoun. So you have to bring an is here. So I am. In this case, am, of course, not is, okay? You make me remember some of our friends in our first year in the university who says I is. Some of our Arab friends. Okay. Ana Muslimun. I am a Muslim. Okay. I am a Muslim. So the word here shows that this is nakira, is common. Okay. So anytime a common word is translated, we put an a. Why am? Because you have a pronoun here. Why I? Because ana means I. The second situation where an is can be put in front, or you can, an is can be created or invented, if we can use the word, then it is only after an ism al-ishara. For instance, an ism al-ishara, what are the ism al-ishara? Hada, hazihi, tilka, ulaika. Okay, all those ones. Hada, hadani, haulahi. Okay, dhalika, tilka, ulaika. Okay, all those asma al-ishara, if they are followed by other than al. Now note a very important situation here. Followed by other than al, meaning if any word follows those demonstrative pronouns like hada, this, that, those, all those demonstrative pronouns, if any word follows them and the word does not have alif and lam. It doesn't matter what kind of word is it. If it's a pronoun, if it's a harf, it's an ism, any kind of ism it is, but it does not have alif and lam. Then you will have to put an S in front of that particular ism al-ishara in your translation. So when you say hada, let me give, I think there are examples. Okay, so when you say hada bala'un, this is a trial. Hada bala'un, sorry, yes, this is a test. Okay, hada, you can see hada bala'un. This test, no, you don't translate it this test, but you translate it this is a test. Why? Because this is ism al-ishara. And after every ism al-ishara, there is an is if the word after it has no al. Okay. The third situation where an is invented, or you have to create an is in your translation, is when you have half of nasb and its sisters followed by its ism. Okay. They are always usually followed by is. So after the inna and its ism, ba'da inna wa akhwataha wa asma'iha. Okay. So for instance, inna Allah, indeed Allah, alimun, is all knowing. See, is all knowing. Inna Allah alimun. So after inna Allah, la'alla Allah yuhdisu ba'da dhalika amra. So you say la'alla Allah. After la'alla Allah, you put an is. So inna Allah, aw ka'annahu. Ka'anna and who. After inna, ka'anna and its ism. So all the inna and its is sisters. Inna, anna, ka'anna, bi'anna, lakinna, layta, la'alla. All of them. After them and their ism, and the ism that falls after them, you have to translate an is. The fourth situation is proper followed by common. That was what I was trying to explain earlier when I saw al-bustanu jamilun. Right? I hope it is here. No. Here I have al-kutubu saghiratun. You see, al-kutub is proper. Saghiratun is what? Common. So whenever a common follows a proper word, you put an S here. So the books are small. The books are small. Why do I have to put are here? Because it's a proper word followed by a common. Okay. Number 5, a break-in chain. So there are 5 situations. A break-in chain. What is this break-in chain? Well, I always have to stop when explaining this break-in chain thing. Okay, because it reminds me of something. Okay. Break-in chain meaning, hitherto we have learned relationship between isms, right? Mubtada, mudaf ilayhi ism, mawsuf sifa, ism, ism al-ishara, mushar ilayhi ism. So this relationship so far has gone on with us. So anytime we see two isms together, there is a possibility that there is a concept there, right? Right? Or whenever we see ism and harf, like fi al-bayt, fil bayt, jar wa majrur, right? Or inna Allah, harf and ism. Anytime we see such things, we think there's a chain, right? There's a chain. Now that chain, when broken by a harf, then you will put an S also. You put the S before that particular break. So for instance, al-rajulu and al-bayt. I mean, if you look at al-rajulu and al-bayt, I mean, just ignore this fee. Al-rajul al-bayt, they will almost like looking as if they are going to be mawsuf sifa. Okay. But then this fee comes and break between them because this al, but then there's this fee. So when it break between the two isms like this, okay, then we say there is a break in chain. In this case, you have to bring an is before that break. Okay, so this one is known as a break in chain. Okay, okay. When I say al-kitabu fil haqibati, al-kitabu and al-haqibati. So as if I want to say al-kitabul haqibati, then I brought a fee inside. Okay, or al-qalam ala al-kursi. Al-qalam ala al-kursi. So al-qalam al-kursi, then there is ala between them. So you have to bring an is before that particular break in chain. So these are the 5 instances where isms, okay? Of course, if you realize that it's all involved ism, right? It's all involved ism. So we are still discussing ism. You know, initially when I told you that this is something, you know, it has a lot of things about it. We are just coming to it the end. We have known how an ism, two isms will make a fragment. An ism with a harf will make a fragment. Okay, an ism with an ism will make another fragment. Now we are talking about two. We are talking about an ism coming and creating a non-existing word in your translation, right? And that is is. And these are the 5 instances where such a thing can happen. Please remember them. I'm going to ask about them when we come back, okay? Shortly. Let's go for a break and come back. Don't go away. Stay on. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm back. You all here. I'm told I've been alone for the day, so let me get some interaction. Let me get some interaction from you quickly, so that maybe I'll start. I will leave the fail for tomorrow, right? Let's leave fail for tomorrow. Initially, I wanted us to do fail, but I think we okay. Let's do. Okay. Okay, hold on 1 minute for me, sorry. Okay, we can do this exercise for now. Okay, now get ready with your quick fingers. Let me just open my chat and let me open it well, and let's see how good we can remind ourselves with what we have learned. Okay, now note, I'm going to call names if I don't see your participation. Because I've been called to do this by one of you. So if I don't see your participation, I'll call names to come and take over the class. Okay, so please participate actively. Okay, these are verses from the glorious Quran. What we are going to do is we are going to apply the process of I'rab. When I say I'rab, means the Arabic analysis, but our concentration is more here on the isms, right? We have dealt with the isms, and so we are going to look at the isms here, and we are going to also look at how the process is done for I'rab. For instance, let's take the first one from the left, or from the, we're supposed to do from the right. Okay, let's take it from the right. إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض. إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدين في الأرض. How many words? So this is the process. Look at the number of words. Tell me number of fragments. Of course, number of words and what they are. So for instance, let me give you an instance of what we are going to do so that we will know the process, right? Okay. Let me do this. Okay. Okay, so for instance, when I say, okay, hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, please? So for instance, when I say, Inna Allah alimun hakim, Inna Allah alimun hakimun. For instance, so when I say Inna Allah alimun hakimun, and I asked, for instance, how many words are in here and what are they? I know this is one word, kalima, and this is another kalima, and this another kalima, and this another kalima, correct? So I will say that the words are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5, okay? 5 of them. What are they? Harfun. So I can say harf. So I can, of course, harf, you can identify it with H, an H, okay? Harfun, and then ismun with an I, and then another ism with another so this one can stand for an I, and then another ism, another I, capital I. Okay, so it's actually 5 HIII, for instance. Okay, and then when I ask for the fragments, how many are the fragments there? So you can tell me that the fragments are, this is one, inna and its ism, and then Allahu alimun, and then Allahu hakimun. Note, this one is not mawsuf sifa. Very, very important. Oh, sorry, I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen or I'm back? Sorry. Am I frozen or am I still frozen? Hello, assalamu alaikum. Okay, good. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, so in Allah, when I say how many fragments are there and what are they? So in Allah is one fragment. Allahu alimun. Sorry, Allah alimun. Allah in Allah ali. Sorry, alimun hakimun. Allah. Sorry. Inna Allah is inna and its ism, right? Okay, but alimun is a khabar to the inna, and hakimun is a khabar also to the inna. So you don't say alimun hakimun is sifa and mawsuf. Okay, so this is the only fragment that is in this sentence. So in this case, I will say the fragment is only one. The fragment is one, and then I will put that and say, hey, why am I having Arabic? Okay, I know the problem. And I will say the fragment here is inna and its ism, right? I can make it like this, okay? So inna and ism, or inna and its ism is actually this. You know why this is in Arabic? I will tell you why. I have taken some of you to this before, and it is because in the option, I need to change something here when I was teaching from Hindi to context. Okay, so that's the issue. Okay, so, and then what kind of sentence is that? Jumla Ismiya. So kind of sentence is what? Jumla. You can say Jumla Ismiya, or you can write it in English actually. Jumla Ismiya. And what are the components? Okay, the components we have inna and its ism. So you have inna, this is how you do the components. You have inna, inna Allah is the mubtada, and then alimun is the khabar, correct? And then, so this is khabar, actually this is khabar one. Khabar one, it's confusion. And then hakimun is khabar two. Okay, so this is how we do the i'rab. So I will be asking question in this particular format. When I ask you the types of sentence, you tell me. When I tell you, okay, what is the mubtada, then you tell me it's inna Allah. And when I ask you which one is the khabar, you say alimun. That's khabar one. And hakimun, if I ask about hakimun, you say khabar two. And of course, we have mentioned the process of doing this analysis, right? We said the jumla in itself would have to be separated into kalimat, and then know where the fragments are, and then before you even consider the sentence. And this even teaches us something in what we are doing, right? That anytime you are doing an i'rab, you just don't want to go to a word or a particular section of an ayah and say, I want to do the i'rab. You have to read the whole of the ayah, separate the ayah into kalimat, identify the fragments in there, and then you then decide, okay, where does this sentence start and ends? Where does another sentence start and ends? Okay, what is the kind of sentence? And then the i'rab will be done, and the meaning would sit well with you. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the exercises. We have about 20 minutes to do that. Okay. Now, pick up your fingers. Inna ya'juja wa ma'juja mufsidina fil ard. How many words are there and what are they? How many? Let me start doing mine on a paper. Okay. Inna ya'juja wa ma'juja mufsiduna fil ard. How many words are in this ayah and what are they? We have, please don't paste your answer first. Don't, oh my, I'm sure. Don't, yes, hold on, Imran, hold on, Imran. Please don't paste your answers until I say we can, okay? You have, okay, very good. Thank you, Imran. Jazakallah. Thank you. Sorry, the mistake is from me, actually. Don't paste your answers until I finish. When I finish, I believe everybody should also finish. So please keep on working, okay? Until I finish. Good. Okay. MashaAllah. Yes, yes, yes. I was silent. Yes. Yes, yes. I am back. I am back. UKD. Alhamdulillah. Sorry. Yeah, we were actually working, right? So now what I have done on my paper, whilst all of you were waiting for only the words, I did the words, I did the fragments, and I did a sentence. So if you have not done that yet, then you have a shorter time to decide on doing that now. I have done the kinds of words, kinds of fragments, and then the Arab itself, because I'm going to ask about those questions, and that should be the process, okay? Good. Now let's go in Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Please paste your answers. How many words are there? How many kalimat are there and what are they? How many kalimat and what are the kinds of kalimat? We have gone through how to do that, right? So Imran, I'm expecting you to be there first. How many kalimat and what are they? Inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj mufsidin fil ard. And what are they, Abdullah? What are they? So you have to tell me ism, fi'l, harf, harf, ism, or whatever, right? Let's go. Hey, everybody is sleeping. I know. So you are doing the other ones. Okay, we'll move now. Okay. Okay, Imran says is 8, harf, ism, fi'l, mashallah. Harf, ism. MashaAllah. And then Abu Dawud says 8. Also harf, ism, fi'il, harf, حرف اسم. Abdullah Idris says حرف اسم فعل حرف اسم. Okay, mashallah. Good. Any other? اختلف العلماء here. No, you didn't. There's no اختلاف. Actually, all of them are saying it's حرف اسم حرف and then اسم فعل حرف اسم. Okay. Okay. Hawa says it's حرف اسم حرف. Who is this Hawa? I hope it's not Hawa in Ghana. If it's Hawa in Ghana, you are prohibited from. If it's the Ghana Hawa, don't interfere. Please observe. All the former students who have gone to this onto this program on and on, please hold on until I say you can. Okay? Okay, she's not. Okay, so it's accepted, Hawa. So harf ism, harf ism. Interesting. Abdul Basit says harf ism, fi'il harf ism. Very interesting. Okay. Now let's go to the answer. The answer is actually okay. Inna is a harf. Inna is a harf. Ya'juja is an ism. Wa is a harf. Ma'juja is an ism. Mufsiduna is an ism. Fi is a harf. Al is a harf. And ardi is a harf. Now note, let me give you a very important clue in this language we are learning. You know, any word that starts with mim cannot be a fail in Arabic. Any word that starts with a mim is most probably an ism. Most probably an ism. Okay? So mufsiduna is actually an ism. And I know why some of you were thinking is a fail. Okay? Because you are considering the translation. Okay? So that is that. Now let's quickly look at the fragments. How many fragments are in Inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj Mufsidina fil Ard? How many fragments are there? And what are they? Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, you against. Yes. Sorry. Okay. Hello, can you hear me, please? I have an issue with my system set. Assalamu alaikum. Ah, okay. Okay. Oh, okay, mashallah. Good. Sorry, I had to do some resets here. I lost my. Okay. Okay, where were we? What was my question? My last question, please assist me to get back. What was my last question? Kinds of fragments. Yes, how many fragments are here and what are they? How many fragments are here? Inna ya'juja wa ma'juja mufsidun fil ard. How many fragments? Yes. Thank you very much, Hawa. Yes, how many fragments are in inna ya'juja wa ma'juja mufsidun fil ard? And what are they? Now remember all your fragments and you remember how to detect them. What are they? Any answer? What are the fragments? How do I detect my fragments? First of all, what are my fragments? My fragments are idafa, mawsuf, sifa, inna, and its sisters, as well as its ismul ishara, mushar ilayhi, and jar wa majroor. So any of them? I see inna wa akhwatuha. Yes, you're right. Which is? So where is the inna and the ism that you can see? Fil ard, yes, fil ard is jar wa majroor, correct, Abdul Basit. Fil ard jar wa majroor, one fragment there. Inna ya'juja is one. Two, harf nasb and its ism, and then harf jar and its ism. Okay, harf jar and its victim. Normally, that's what we say. It's victim. Okay, our harf of nasb and its victim. You can also say it's victim. Okay, yes. Its victim means it has caused it to be kasra, and that one also it has caused it to be nasb. So you can use the word victim. MashaAllah. Very good. So that's the answer, yes. But however, note this. Inna ya'juja wa ma'juja. Note, inna ya'juja is one fragment, and this wa ma'juja can be considered another fragment because the actual meaning is inna ya'juja wa inna ma'juja. Okay, so this one is ma'tuf. We have not come to atf yet, but it actually gives the same meaning. So you can even say that we have two fragments here of inna, or you can put all these in one basket. So somebody who says that inna ya'juja wa inna ma'juja are two fragments, I will agree with him partially, but however, generally what we say is that inna ya'juja wa ma'juj is one in one basket. Okay, inna ya'juja wa ma'juj is the inna and its ism generally for now, and fil ard is another jar wa majrur. Okay, it's another fragment known as jar wa majrur. Very good. Now tell me, I know this is a jumla ismiya. Where is the mubtada and where is the khabar? Where's the mubtada and where's the, if no khabar, where is the MBK? Quickly. Mubtada, khabar, MBK. Mubtada, khabar, or MBK. So now we are doing a rap, by the way. But jumla ismiya, where is the mubtada? Inna ya'juja mubtada. So it's mubtada, you mean, not mubtada. Mubtada, Abdul Basit. Okay, very good. And where is the khabar? Where is your khabar or MBK? Mufsiduna fil ard is the khabar. Okay, mufsidun is the khabar. Okay, which one is which? Mufsidun is the khabar. Okay, what about fil ard? So this is the best way to say. Inna ya'juj wa ma'juj, the whole of that is the mubtada. Mufsiduna fil ard, the whole of that is the khabar. Because if I ask you, how do you do the i'rab of wa ma'juj? You say it's in the bucket. This is what we say. It's in the bucket of mubtada. Fil ard is also in the bucket of the khabar. So mufsiduna fil ard is the khabar. because it gives the information about inna ya'juj wa ma'juj. It's just like you saying inna ya'juj wa ma'juj as the mubtada, because it raises the curiosity. It is the subject of the statement or the ayah. Then mufsiduna fil ard gives you the information that clears that curiosity, right? So the whole of mufsiduna fil ard is the khabar. Okay, let's go to the next one. Zalika min ayatillahi. Zalika min ayatillahi. So zalika is what do we call zalika in this Nahaw course? How do we call zalika? Who can tell me? Zalika. I won't ask you how many words are there, but zalika is what? Ism ishara. Very good. What about min? Min. Min. What is min? Harf jar. Very good. And Allah. I don't know if I've mentioned this. How do we say Allah in our Arab? How do we mention? How do we do the? If I want to do the Arab of Allah, how do I call the word Allah? How do we refer? What? Okay. What word do we refer Allah with? Absolutely. Please note this down. Anytime you see Allah in our Arab, we don't say Allah is marfu or Allah is mansub. Please, we say lafzul jalala marfu or lafzul jalala majrur. Thank you very much. Yes, lafzul jalala. Okay. Now, tell me how many fragments are here and what are they? If there is. How many fragments are here? Is there any? If yes, what are they or what it is? ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ. What? Yes. Yes, so I'm still waiting. What are the fragments? Is there any fragments? Min ayatillahi. Very good. What kind of fragment? You have to give me the kind of fragment. Don't just give me the ayah. Give me the ayah and give me the kind of fragment. I'm waiting. You said I've been doing this alone. Now the participation is within only 3 or 4 students. Please engage. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask. Dhalika is ism ishara. Min is harf jar. Good. Lafzul jalala. And then somebody says jar wa majrur. Is that the only one? So ayatullahi is mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. Correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, that mudaf ilayhi. Very good, Abu Dawud. Very good, Abu Dawud. Dhalika min and its victim sifa wa mawsuf. Now min, what is sifa and mawsuf? Now note, sifa or mawsuf must have the same properties. Okay? Yes, Imran. So you have to check that answer again. Min ayatullahi mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. No, min is harf jar. So this is jar wa majrur and this is mudaf ilayhi. Whoever says this is correct. So this is jar wa majrur min ayati and ayatullah is mudaf ilayhi. Very good for all those who said that. Now ilahukum ilahun wahid. Ilahukum ilahun wahid is jumla ismiya again. Can you see fragments here? And if there are, what are they? Ilahukum ilahun wahid. Ilahukum ilahun wahid. What are the fragments? You can see. Ilahukum idafa. Very good, very good. Note, anytime you see an attached pronoun to an ism, is mudaf ilayh. Anytime you see an attached pronoun to an ism, this is a pronoun attached to ilahu, so it's mudaf ilayh. So there is idafa here. What about ilahun wahidun? Ilahun wahidun. Sifa, mawsuf. Very good. So very good, Imran. We have idafa and sifa mawsuf. Mumtaz, mumtaz. Now note, I said this particular pronoun is an attached pronoun. The attached pronouns, we know them, right? The who, he, huma, hima, hum, him, ha, huma, hima, hunna, hinna, ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna, I, ni, o, na. All those attached pronouns, wherever you see them attached to an ism, then it is mudaf ilayh. Very good. Ilahukum idafa and ilahum wahidun sifa mawsuf. Absolutely correct, Abdullah. Good. Al-haqqu min rabbik. Al-Haqqu min Rabbik, give me the fragments there. Al-Haqqu min Rabbik. Al-Haqqu min Rabbik. Al-Haqqu min Rabbik. Quickly, quickly, we need to run through this. Al-Haqqu min Rabbik. Where are the fragments? Of course, it's Jumla Ismiya because it started with Al-Haqqu. So Al-Haqqu is Mubtada, min Rabbik is the khabar, muta'alliq bi khabar. But I will not go into the Arab more detailed. But now, what I want to know is the fragment. Rabbikum is idafa. Absolutely. You see now, I mean, I like this this approach, Imran. Imran is able to detect the mudaf ilayhi now because I said any attached pronoun, there is idafa there. And when you say harf jar, there is majroor, right? It's very easy, really. Idafa in majroor by harf jar. Yes, there is idafa and there's jar or majroor. Very good, Alpha. Yes, jar or majroor. Mir Rabbi. Very good. What about Rabbikum? Rabbikum is idafa. Very good, Abu Dawud. Very good, Abu Dawud. Mir Rabbi, jar or majroor, and Rabbikum, mudaf ilayh. Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. Any fragments here? Who can tell me the fragments? Any fragments? Any fragment? Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. If no, just say no. If yes, tell me where is the fragment. Then you know, a chunk of the language is actually made up of these fragments. So you need to try and detect them. And I've given you one clue about pronouns, attached pronouns, right? Okay, of course, and you know all about the ismul isharas, you know about the harf jar. So anytime you see harf jar, easy. Anytime I see ismul ishara, easy. Anytime, I mean, these are, you know, markers. Abdul Nafiq says, Zalika ismul ishara. Yes, it is ismul ishara, but is there fragment? Where is the mushar ilay? Is there fragment? Abdul Nafiq. Is there a fragment here? What did we say about a fragment? We say that anytime you see Ismail Ishara, okay, with an ism with alif and lam, that makes it a fragment. So in this case, there is no fragment with Zalika. Okay? There is no fragment in Zalika. Who can tell me the other fragments? Anyone? Yes or no? I hope that is clear, Abdul Nafiq. Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Ibnu Maryama is idafa. Ibnu Maryama, the son of Maryam. Yes, idafa. Very good. Ana aktharu minka malan. Ana aktharu minka malan. Is there any fragment here? And by the way, Zalika Isa ibn Maryam, Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. So Zalika Isa, then ibn Maryam is the khabar. So this is the mubtada, this is the khabar. Ana aktharu minka malan. Is there a fragment here? Is there a fragment here? Ana aktharu minka malan. Ana aktharu minka malan. No answer. Okay. There is no fragment. Okay, Abdul Basit, I like the boldness. Okay. Minka is jar wa majroor. Minka is jar wa majroor. Min is harf jar, Imran. Yes, Alpha, very good. Min is harf jar, ka. But how do you translate ana aktharu? Ana aktharu. We learned one concept this morning. What do you detect in this ana aktharu? What do you detect there? Ana aktharu. In your translation. What do you detect in ana aktharu? Only ana aktharu. What do you think can be seen there based on what we have learned this morning? Ana aktharu. Invisible is very good. There is an invisible is after ana. Okay, so I am more. I am more. So there have to be an here. Very good. Thank you, Alpha. Let's go. Ana rabbuk. So ana aktharu minka. So the whole of this, ana aktharu minka. Ana Aktharu minka. So I am that, you know, more than you in wealth. So the whole of this is khabar and ana is the mubtada. Ana rabbuka. Ana rabbuka. Is there any fragment here? What is it if there is? If no, say no. Is there any fragment here? If yes, give me what is the fragment, and if no, tell me no. There is idafa Abdul. There is no Abdul Basit says. Idafa Abu Dawood. Yes, what is the idafa? Abu Dawood. Rabbuka. Very good. So Rabbu is mudaf and ka is mudaf ilay. You know, very good. Abdul Basit, I did mention that anytime you see an attached pronoun, anytime you see an attached pronoun to an ism, there is idafa. If the attached pronoun is to a field, then it's maf'ul bihi. So, but if it's very good, yes. Rabbuka idafa. Yes, Shaban. Yes, Abdul Nafiq. Very good. So there is, so ana is mubtada, and you can also see that there's going to be an invisible is translated where? Where will the is be? Who can tell me? So where will the is or its auxiliaries or its sisters be in this translation? Ana rabbuka. I, Lord, your. Where will the invisible is be? According to what we learned this morning. So very good. So it's, yes, between the ana, yes, ana and rab. Very good. So it's always after the pronoun. So anytime we see an independent pronoun, there is an auxiliary verb here. Okay. When we say ana, I am. Okay, I am your Lord. Okay. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ. Is there any fragment here? فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ. Is there a fragment here? Yes, after inna, the nafik. Yes, very good. Frozen. Am I frozen? Usman Yahya. Is there any fragment here? فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ. No, there is no fragment. Oh, are you saying there is? Okay. Okay, so if there is no fragment, okay. First word is idafa. فَلَعَلَّكَ. Okay, which one is the first word? Which one is the, you know, in this particular course, when you say word, you have to be careful. Which one is the word here? So, fa, are you saying fa? فَلَعَلَّ, فَلَعَلَّكَ, نَفْسَكَ, idafa. Which one is the idafa? So, yes, nafsaka is idafa, but la'allaka, what is it la'allaka? Yes, la'allaka is ism inna and the sisters, and it's ism, so la'alla and ka. Very good, if that's what you mean. And then nafsaka is also idafa. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Tell me, alhamdulillah, what do we have there? Alhamdulillah. So alhamdulillah raises curiosity. Lillahi is the MBK because it's jar or majrur. We'll do more of the Arab later, but for now, I wanted to detect the fragments. Alhamdulillah, is there any fragment? Yes, mudaf ilayhi. Where is the mudaf ilayhi, Abdul Basit Ladan? You have to tell me which one is the mudaf and which one is the mudaf ilayhi. Is there mudaf ilayhi here? Where is it? Which one is the mudaf? Which one is the mudaf ilayhi? Alhamdulillah. Hamdu is mudaf. Lillahi. Yes, lillahi is jar wa majroor. Very good. So Abdul Basit, look here. Alhamdu is not, I mean, whenever you talk about jar wa mudaf ilayhi, the mudaf must not have alif and lam. The mudaf, that's why we say no alif and lam is light, no alif and lam followed by a jar. And this one is not light, and it's not also without alif and lam, so it cannot be mudaf. So there's no idafa here, but there is jar wa majroor, harfu jar, and then the lafz in jalala is majroor. Very good. Okay, thank you, Abdul Basit. MashaAllah. Yes, mudaf should be light. Absolutely, Abu Dawood. Antum Muslimun, is there any Fragment here, if there is, what is it? Is there any fragment here, yes or no? Antum Muslimun. And for information, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdu is Mubtada, Lillah is Khabar. Sorry, it's MBK, not Khabar. Mut'alliq bi Khabar, because it's Jar Majrur. Antum Muslimun. Quickly. Antum Muslimun. Is there any fragment here? What is it? Abu Dawud is saying no fragment. See me see trouble. No fragment. Antum Muslimun. Anyone to second or anyone to disapprove? Antum Muslimun. Antum Muslimun. Where is Abdul Basit and where is Imran? Hey, they go silent, and when they have the bullets, they will be hammering it on me, right? Now that I'm looking for the answers, only Abu Dawood is talking with his fingers, of course. Antum Sifa and Muslimun Mawsuf. That's interesting. Antum Sifa and Mawsuf. Okay. Yes, there is no fragment here actually. Antum is Mubtada, Muslimun is Khabar. Okay. So it's Mubtada Khabar. There is no Sifa and Mawsuf, and there is no any fragment actually. Inna hazihi tazkira. Inna hadihi tazkira. Any fragment? Any fragment? Inna hadihi tazkira. Quickly, quickly, quickly. My time is fast spent. Sorry, I've taken more of your time. There is no, okay, so here there is inna and hazihi. So inna hadihi tazkira. So inna hazihi, inna and the ism. Okay, so this is the only fragment here. Hazihi tazkira is not a fragment. Okay, so inna hazihi is the mubtada and tazkiratun khabar. وهو الغفور الرحيم. Sorry, let me just finish this. وهو الغفور الرحيم. وهو الغفور الودود. So what? هو. So what? هو الغفور. So هو الغفور and الودود. هو here is the mubtada, and then الغفور is the khabar, and then ودود is khabar ثاني. والله من ورائهم محيط. من ورائي is jar wa majrur. ورائهم is mudaf ilayhi. Okay. So wallahu min wara'ihim, the whole of that is mubtada, and muhitun is khabar. Huwallahu is mubtada and khabar. Okay. He is Allah. He is Allah. That ends today's discussion. With all that has to do with ism, we are done. Kinds of fragments, we are done, and inshallah tomorrow we will be looking at fi'l. Fi'l, very, very important. So jazakumullah anna kulla khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Please, 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 your Edmudo. Some of you are still not active there. That is where the actual thing comes, particularly with the teachers, particularly those who want to impart this knowledge. You might be learning it here and learning something from here, but for you to apply, you need to work on the Edmudo. That's where the questions are answered mostly. Okay. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Yes, Imran, please answer all of them. You must answer all of them to make you, good, right? Okay. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. صلوا على النبي الكريم. اللهم صل على محمد وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإياكم وإياكم. آمين آمين يا رب. وإياك وإياك وإياك. آمين آمين آمين.